and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Let's get your weekend started on Fridays with your one and only new host, Denise. Bringing you amped, raw, and fun energy to entertain as you end your week to welcome your weekend. Denise will bring you friends, celebrities, entrepreneurs, topic experts, musicians, foodies, local events, news, and much more to educate, celebrate, motivate, relax, and relate. As she says, let's make your mess your message. So let's get this party started. Here's Denise.
Hi, everyone, and it's another Friday. Here we go. We have a show that's lined up for you. Unfortunately, one of our guests won't be able to make it, but I promise to make the show that much more fun. I will have another guest that's coming along. I don't know what's going on 95, but there is a lot of traffic. I guess it's because we have all our spring breakers here. Welcome, all of you who are visiting us. We ask that you please maintain your decorum and your clothing on while you're visiting us here in Fort Lauderdale, and for that matter, Miami as well. So please try to be on your best behavior. So that's the small disclosure. We have a lot coming up this week, and the show's theme today on Power Up Radio TV is all things Italian. Yeah, you heard me. That's right. All things Italian. Can you imagine that with so much more? My last name is Casal.
I got a problem.
Oh, we have a problem already in the room. Okay, what's the problem?
I'm Puerto Rican.
Well, that's another problem. My last name is Casal. Yes, because that's my I kept my ex-married name, so I'm not Italian either. I'm Puerto Rican Cuban, but I was married for 30 years.
You're an Italian in the
to
room.
an Italian. You have to admit that's totally funny and what we're actually trying to accomplish today's show. But I promise we're going to make this a lot of fun. I was married to an Italian for 30 years. That's right. You heard it. 30 years, everyone. There you go. Full disclosure, 30 years married to an Italian. And, we're best friends today. But I took a long journey in that 30 years. My mother-in-law, bless her heart, may she rest in peace, gave me everything I needed to know to be what they call an Italian wife, but never forgot my Latin roots at all. Never, never, never. But we're going to be talking a lot. So I want to hear from you all out there. We're going to do questions today, all things Italian, and we're going to be celebrating and talking about an event that's coming up that Power Up Radio is going to be sponsoring, and that's going to be the San Gennaro Feast. That's right, the San Gennaro Feast, which is going to be held on March 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. So that's coming up. And for those of you that don't know what this feast is all about, it's an annual feast that takes place. And I grew up with this feast, having to be from New York. There's the one feast that everyone always knew about, and that was the San Gennaro Feast in Little Italy. For those of you that remember or have gone, go ahead, call in. I want to hear what your experience was when you've been there, what your fondest memories are, what your favorite food is when you visited there. For myself personally, whenever I went to the feast, it was also the Zappels or Zeppelis, depends where you're from. And was it sauce or gravy? Which one is it for you, Freddie?
Sauce.
Oh, it's sauce. Okay, depends where you're from. I want to hear from you. Call me. I want to see, is it sauce or gravy where you come from? 888-565-1470. If you're in 95 stuck listening, tune in and stay tuned in because right now it looks like you're not moving anywhere on 95. So you might as well just have fun listening and take your calendar out, put in San Gennaro Feast, March 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. And that's going to be at the Gulfstream Park, which is right in Hallandale. If you want to go play the horses while you're there, you might as well go do it. But at the end of the day, it is a great feast, and it's going to be all lots of fun. They have entertainment. They have petting zoos, rides, and food, of course. More food and more food. Oh, we have a question.
You're on Twitter. I'm sorry. You're on Twitch under M2 TV.
Oh, okay. So you can also find us now on Twitch, where the show is just going up like fire.
And there's a question.
We have a question.
They want to know if you're going to be at the feast.
Yes, I will be at the feast. I will be there on Thursday helping with and talking about the actual event that starts on Thursday. There is a procession that they open up the whole event with, and there is the Grand Marshal who's going to be calling in a little later. A favorite good friend of mine who is a local, but a perfect Grand Marshal for the actual actual event of San Gennaro Feast. So did that answer your question? I will be there on Thursday. I will be there late Friday night, and I will be there Saturday as well, and make an appearance there also on Sunday. But I implore you all to go. It is an amazing event, and this same event is also being held by the folks that are putting this together. Also hold it in Vegas. So this is like a traveling one. They have it both here
You
and there.
got a lot of things going on here now. She's doing the IG, so if questions pop up there, you hear it there.
Okay, that's fine.
Twitch
Questions?
is questions. YouTube also.
Yes,
and Twitter.
questions.
You're
Twitch,
everywhere.
IG, I'm everywhere. Facebook, yeah, I'm like, you know what, everywhere. So we're going to be talking about all things Italian. And once, for all of you to know, we're going to talk a little bit about Denise, so you know more about her. And you already know that Denise has been married for 30 years. She was married to an Italian for 30 years, hence my last name, Casal. And I want to hear from any of you that's listening, are you gravy or sauce? I want to know. And for those of you that are from there, you'll know. And if you're from Philly and you're Italian. So this is another thing, too. We have a lot of people are Italian that are in Philadelphia. So is it Gino's or Pat's? I don't know. I want to hear also. Thanks so much again for tuning in. We have our sponsor that we want to thank as well today. And we have our sponsor.
He just rolled in.
Oh, our sponsor just rolled in?
Yes, he wants to know what's his Gubba.
Oh, okay. So we're going to have our sponsor today, and we have to thank him. It is Gubba Rum, and I will let you know he'll be here. He'll be chatting with us. For those of you that are just tuning in, Gubba Rum is really, really one of the best rums I've actually had. This is the gold version, and it is wicked, wicked smooth. I really like the way it falls, and you can cook with this. So all things Italian. So, but Joe, look at Joe just made
Joe's
it into
here.
the
Hold
room.
on.
Joe Rubo, come on over.
While Joe comes over, I'm going to put on Gubba's commercial.
Okay, so we're going to go to a commercial right now.
Collected. Needing a drink to end a long day, or maybe to start your vacation right? Gubba Rum is here to let you kick back and do just that. Inspired by a technique that dates back to the 1800s, these artisanal, organic, and naturally infused rums are made from pure cane and the finest fruits, spices, and herbs the world has to offer. Gubba Silver is infused with naturally shredded coconut, and Gubba Gold is infused with real vanilla bean. Simply shake and enjoy. Visit gubbarum.com to find the nearest location to buy or enjoy. All establishments have personally reviewed and enjoyed firsthand the wicked smoothness of Gubba Rum. 35% ABV and 70 proof. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
Welcome back, everyone. Once again, the theme of tonight's show is all things Italian. And as always goes, we have to make up whatever we can when we have the show lineup change. But you know, it always winds up in turning out to be even a better show. Is that right, Freddie?
Always a party. It's always a party.
It's always a party. That's right. It's always a party. It's a virtual happy hour. This is what we're all about here. We just talked about Gubba Rum, one of our segment sponsors today. And I've been telling you that, okay, for those of you that cook and bake, I want you can actually cook with this particular rum. I've actually made rum cookies with this, and so it's something that you need to talk about. Then, of course, we have this rum, which is super wicked smooth, and I think that y'all are going to taste this with me. So you can actually see here, it's a silver version. It's coconut rum. Oh my goodness, it's super good. Also, you can cook with this, but you know what, even better, you can drink it. I think it's super, super tasty. So if you want to know more about Gubba Rum, you can certainly call in and we'll tell you where it is that you can buy it. You can go on and listen to our commercial again so we can tell you where it is that you can pick up this amazing, wicked, smooth rum.
He puts it with ice cream.
He puts it with ice cream?
And then he blends it.
And then he blends
puts
it?
all sorts of stuff. When he comes here, he's on his way.
All right, we have
It's
Gubba's on
unbelievable.
his way. All right, so there you go. That's
sounds
another
good.
one. So I have with me a guest who has been here before and was really, really nice enough to come back tonight. And it's Joe Rubo, everyone. You know
Hi.
who this is. A paisan in the house.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Fine. Good. How you doing?
I'm
Great to
doing
be
good.
back.
I'm glad that you're back as well. We actually have expanded our viewership.
Wow.
So what's happening? We have Instagram that's now live with us, Facebook Live, which we always knew. We also have Twitch and we have TuneIn, and we also have our YouTube where you can find us live. Oh my God, we're on fire.
Gotta love it.
Gotta love it.
Deservingly so.
Thank you very much. Just so that everyone remembers who Joe Rubo is. If you remember the movie, The Last American Version, right? So I'm going to let Rubo say, what role did you play
I played David, the Big Apple in The Last American Virgin. I was the happy-go-lucky guy. Got in a lot of trouble during the movie.
Okay, yes, you did. And it was in the 80s? It was an 80s cult movie?
Yes, it was an 80s movie, and it's still very, very popular with a cult group of people that, I don't know, did that sound right? Yeah. It's like a cult classic.
It's an 80s cult classic, which I think that the signature song was?
Probably Just Once by James Ingram.
Was it not Whip It Good? Also?
Whip It was one. The whole soundtrack was great. But the one by James Ingram was the most popular because that's how the movie ended with that song on. Everybody remembers it.
Right. Well, it was glad that you're here. I know you
Thank
have
you.
lots of different projects.
Yeah.
VIP TV was something that you were working on, and you and I are talking about seeing how it is we can coordinate our efforts.
Yes.
And you have a reunion that's supposed to be potentially coming up. Is that right?
Yes, this summer it's supposed to start.
And that's the reunion of the movie.
Yes, 40 years.
40 years later. Can you believe it's 40 years?
No.
Nope.
It seems like yesterday.
Wow.
I can't believe I'm that old.
You're not that old. You're just that good.
Thank you.
Okay, you just ripened some more.
Yes, like good wine.
Well, you do remember when I spoke to you that tonight's show is all things Italian. I'm assuming you're a good fit for the show.
My favorite subject.
All things Italian. And we were just talking about the San Gennaro Feast.
Yes.
That's coming up, and we talked about that too. And we're actually going to be playing a couple of games, and
Okay.
it's going to be centered around San Gennaro Feast and knowing a little bit about the feast. But I have a question for you.
Sure.
Were you ever at the San Gennaro Feast in New York?
Oh, many, many times.
Okay. What was your fondest memory?
The Zeppelis and the sausage and peppers.
So it's Zeppelis. I said Zappels before, but it is the
Zeppelis, yeah.
For those of you that don't know what Zappels or Zeppelis are, what's that?
Real Italian.
Real Italian, yeah.
There's only one Italian in.
Actually, yeah.
It's fried dough. It's a sweet dough, and it's powdered sugar on it. It's like the Italian version of elephant ears.
Elephant ears.
Yeah.
You can't. There's no comparison.
No,
to the Zappels.
Zeps are the
Zappels,
best.
You just can't.
My friend who owns Pasquale's Pizza, they make the best Zeppelis in South Florida.
Right?
Yeah.
In South Florida.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, we'll have to taste it
Yes.
out and test it.
Or they have to deliver them here.
They'll have to deliver them here next time. So let's see if we can get them to come and
They'll
be on the show
come.
to bring the Zappels next time.
They'll bring it.
I'm gonna call them now.
You're gonna
Tell them I'm on the show to bring the Zeppelin. They will.
Why not? We'll do that commercial.
You can do that actually. So what we want to talk about is a couple of fun things, all things Italian. And we were just saying that in this room right now, you are the only Italian that's in here.
Well, you too.
Well, actually, I was married.
Okay.
You know, so as I say, Italian by injection.
I'm glad you said that. I was gonna say.
That's all right. Y'all are 95. I'm sure you're saying I need something to laugh at because there's plenty of traffic out there right now.
Oh man, it was crazy coming. Where are all these people coming from?
Oh, it's spring break.
Oh man.
It's spring break, and I actually made a disclaimer that I'm hoping everyone maintains the decorum and keeps their clothing on because it's been frequent that so far on Fort Lauderdale Beach, there's been a lot of things happening and a lot of skin, maybe too much skin.
Yeah.
You know? But
A lot of getting crazy. I remember coming down here in spring break in the 80s. That's when it was the real spring
80s,
break.
the
That's
real
when it was
spring
fun, yeah.
gee, I don't think these kids were even born yet.
No. A1A was 2 lanes back then.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And the infamous elbow room, of course,
Yes,
where
still
everyone
there.
must visit out there and see, and experience the whole event there. But you know what? Spring break has indeed gotten a lot more under control.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are still wanting to break out after COVID, and they're just like all over the board.
Yeah.
But again, we want you to stay safe out there. Please, please maintain your sense of being safe and making good decisions, as all of your mothers and fathers would say. Make good decisions out there. But going back to our theme of the show,
Yes.
all things Italian, we were talking about San Gennaro Feast. So we're going to start playing a couple of questions out there. Okay. For those of you that are listening, take this number, 888-565-1470, or you can respond through Facebook or Instagram. Here is the question. Again, tickets to the San Gennaro Feast is the winning prize. So here it goes. The question. In what movie, was the San Gennaro Feast played? I'll give you the hint on the first go.
I know it already.
You know which one? Okay. All right, well, we're going to put it out there. Once again,
Go ahead.
what movie was the San Gennaro Feast actually part of the movie. Remember, we're all things Italian. Anyone out there? Well, Joe, you already know. I mean,
I hope I'm right.
You hope you're right. No tickets for you then.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So, any answers out there? And so, again, what movie was the San Gennaro Feast played? And if you don't know, Joe, go ahead, give it a shot.
I'm going to give it a shot. The Godfather Part 2.
Right on.
Yeah.
You do win.
Yeah.
Okay. But what feast was on Godfather 3?
Wasn't it San Gennaro?
It was the San Gennaro Feast as well. But here's the trick one.
What?
The first movie.
The first Godfather? Mm-hmm. I don't think it was in that.
No, the San Gennaro Feast was not.
No,
it was
not.
the Saint Rocco Feast.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that was the actual feast name. And this is all things Italian. These are some really quick, easy things to have fun with.
That's in The Godfather 2, that's when he whacked, what's his name? Don Fanucci.
Don Fanucci, yes.
Yes.
Don Fanucci was whacked. I just love the language.
During the
right
feast.
With everything.
I wonder how he knows that.
Okay, Joe, we won't ask. We won't ask him what Joe thinks. All right, so that is actually one of the things that it's a trick question. I mean, when I thought about it, I'm like, wow. And I can specifically see the scene, and that was the actual feast. Yeah. So once again, we are talking about all things Italian. And I had a question earlier. Those of you that are listening, feel free, answer, call in, 888-565-1470. But here's the question, Joe. Is it sauce or is it gravy? Ooh. Oh, you can't answer that one.
I can answer that. You want me to answer right away, or you want to give somebody else a chance?
No, you can go ahead and answer because it's specific to everyone's geography. So go ahead.
It's not.
It's not. Okay.
The correct answer to that is thanks to my cousin Anthony. He we had this argument on Facebook a couple of weeks ago.
It's not Simon, it was Anthony.
Yeah. It's sauce.
It is sauce.
Until
you
add the meat to it and the meat's sitting in it a while. Then it becomes gravy.
There you have it. Mystery solved.
Yep.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a question they wrote in.
Okay, what's the question?
This is to stump him.
Okay.
The very first feast day and year, what was it?
I'd have to say the early 1900s.
Close.
Oh, can we be a little bit more specific?
I'm not.
Oh, you were going to ask this?
I have the answer.
You do?
I
look
have
it
the
up.
answer.
Oh, that stinks. Well, there you have it.
Anyone want to take a guess? But it is in the early 1900s.
Yeah, and the city.
And the city.
And the city.
All right, okay, maybe you'll have a guess of where the city is, where the first feast was held.
Think about it. It's Italian. What's
Think
the first
about
city?
it. Just think about it.
The first feast of San Gennaro.
Where's the location?
Would have to be in Italy.
Give me a second guess. Anyone out there? Seriously, anyone out there? What city was the?
This is unbelievable. I didn't know this.
I didn't either.
Yeah, the Saint Gennaro. This is all things Italian.
I didn't know I was
going to
be quizzed
a lot
tonight.
of fun. Oh no! Wait! He's googling. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. He's googling.
I'm not going to blurt it out. I'm doing it.
That's a great question, though.
It is a good. I was prepared to make sure that we make all the announcements necessary to talk about the San Gennaro Feast and everything that's Italian.
Okay.
Everything
Of course,
that's Italian.
of course, it's from Naples. That's where my family's from.
Okay, well, that is where the saint is originally
Yep.
from. That's right. But the actual feast, are you ready? The very first one was held in September 1926.
I see that.
Right? In Manhattan,
Mulberry Street.
which is now, of course, known as Little Italy. Right?
That's where it always is. Right? Mulberry
Yes,
Street,
every year they've been doing it there. But this one that we are talking about today, it is, of course, the same theme, the same concept, but it is by Anthony, who's going to be calling in and telling us about how he's been putting together the San Gennaro Feast in Vegas and now here in South Florida. We have a question.
Somebody's
wait.
disputing you.
Someone's disputing me? Okay.
September 19, 1926.
Yes.
The first one was held in Naples,
right.
Florida.
That-
Patron saints of Naples. And it passed, it came after the Roman Catholic Church that celebrated, I can't even pronounce this word, on the calendar of September 18th, the day before. But Naples, it says.
Well, Naples, Italy So how about this? We'll agree to disagree. But it was the very first feast, yes, indeed, was in Naples, Italy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it means Naples, Florida.
No, it's Italy.
Yeah, Naples, Florida hasn't
Italy,
been around
yes,
that
it's
long.
Naples,
I
Italy.
was trying to confuse.
He was trying to confuse him.
I don't
Yeah,
think
don't be
Naples,
doing
Florida,
that to
I don't think
to
Naples,
Joe
Florida's
Rubo.
been around that long.
What's that?
Naples, Florida hasn't been around that long, has it?
No, I don't think so. But be all that said,
I want him to jump up and say, "That's wrong."
Now there's a Little Italy in the Bronx now, on Arthur Avenue. It's always been there, but I don't know if do they have the feast?
Oh yeah,
They do.
Oh wait, they have. I don't think it's San Gennaro. It's a different feast.
No, it's not San Gennaro, but
they're a different name. I lived right down the street.
Me too.
You lived in Hollywood Avenue.
I lived off Colden Avenue and Boston Post
Here
Road.
we go.
Exactly
Back in the
where you
Bronx.
And then I moved to
That should
the
be
west
the name of
side
a
by
movie, Back
Mashula
in the
Parkway.
Bronx.
I used to play ball when Shula went to D.C.
My uncle went to.
I know this
Fordham.
guy.
Yeah,
You know-
exactly.
I gotta tell you, when he was last here, I went home and watched the movie.
Oh.
I feel so old.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, well, the very first movie, I should say, let me take that back. The very first feast was in Naples, and it was in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting is, and the reason being behind that is that they started the feast, and actually he's the patron saint, which is like the protector. Whenever someone has a patron saint, it's known and recognized as the protector. What was that?
The Guardian.
The what? Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay. And that's why Joe is here. He's giving us schooling, right? So also another quick question that's going out there. This is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this. So actually, San Gennaro, this is really interesting. Do we know what year, and this is really going back, and no Googling out there, what year did San Gennaro, when was he wasn't crucified, but when did he die? Anyone know how he died? Ooh, this
San
is,
Gennaro died?
Yes, a
They shot him
year?
with an arrow.
Oh, Lord, no.
1927.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say something, ate too much pasta. No, God. No. His demise was pretty bad. But he actually, okay, Joe's
I'm not going to splurt it out. I'm just curious.
Anyone out there have an
Do you know,
answer?
Joe?
No idea.
Joe, they want to know if you're a patron saint. I don't know. People are writing all sorts of things in there.
Patron saint? I guess you could call me that.
The patron saint.
St. Joseph's Day is coming up.
So, yeah, that's in September.
No, it's in March.
It is. Oh, it's March.
Two days after St. Patrick's Day.
And you know what? Here we are. The theme is now going into saints.
What day is St. Joe's?
19?
That's my birthday.
Is it?
Yeah,
That's my middle name.
Yep.
Okay. I knew you were all
Maybe I'm a
right.
saint. Not.
So here's more information.
Quite
So
really.
this is really a lot of fun because he is, of course, like we said, his real name though, and I don't know if I'm going to butcher this, is actually Saint Janarius or Janarius.
I did not know that.
Janarius.
Say that diarrhea.
Oh no!
What'd you say?
Saint Janarius. That's his actual
he's been-
real name.
He's been around. He's been around a long time.
It's been a long time. Yeah, it's been around a long time.
Madon.
He was a bishop also in Italy, in Naples, and so he was actually came from a very wealthy family,
That's
wealthy
probably why
family,
he got killed.
and he was known for also. This is really crazy stuff. This is a lot of fun. So
You did a lot of homework, didn't you?
I did. Well, we
What
want to
are
play
the
a game.
cards she
Does
has?
anyone know what else he's a patron saint to? Anyone else out there?
You know what?
Saint Gennaro, what other patron saint notoriety does he have?
Wow.
Yes.
He knows a lot of stuff.
Come on, we can do this, everyone. We can do it. So this is like really great stuff. I mean, I'm listening, and we're getting some great questions that are coming in, actually. We have that. Anyone want to know?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So he is the saint to phlebotomists.
Phlebotomist.
Yes.
What is that?
People take your blood.
Oh my
Blood.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason being is that supposedly he was unfortunately decapitated. That was his
What's his head?
lost his head. He lost his head, and essentially some of his blood was bottled up, and apparently once, twice, 3 times a year they see that the actual hardened blood liquefies. So about that, you have a little bit of an education. I told you the show is
Does a
educational
lot of
too.
homework, huh?
I did a lot of homework. I really did. You're getting a big education, huh?
Next time I got to do some homework myself before I come.
All right, so going back to everything that we wanted to do, again, San Gennaro Feast, coming up March 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. And yes, I will be there.
Week?
It is next week. It is.
I'll be there too.
Yep, it is next week. And I have a guest that's going to be calling in. And I hope you're out there. I'm waiting for you to dial in. So, Mr. Joe, whenever you can, dial in, tune in. Another Joe is tuning in, yes.
We're going to have to number them. Joe 1,
Joe 2.
Is his middle name Anthony also?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him.
He's Italian. You know,
He's Italian.
Going to New York? New York?
That's my middle name, Anthony.
Okay. I mean, I think isn't everyone Anthony?
Yeah, everyone in my house.
It's Joseph.
Joe to Anthony and Tony.
Yes. So here's, all right.
All verbs.
Joe, did you have a nickname growing up?
Many, no.
No,
yes.
Not those kind of nicknames.
My nickname, my uncle, God rest his soul, gave me a nickname, the Grizz.
The Grizz.
Yeah.
Joe the Grizz?
Yeah.
Is that how that
Grizz,
went?
like Grizzly Bear. Grizz.
Oh, okay. I get it. I get it. I would say that if you had to give me a name, let's see. Denise needs a name. She needs an Italian go-to name. So for those of you that are thinking out there, write in, what would my name be? Denise I don't know. But definitely not Saint Gennaro. Saint I'm not. But I just really wanted to say that this has been one of those things that I think that is a lot of here's another question. Uh-oh. So the feast is being run by Anthony, who's going to be calling in. Do we know what year? How many years this actual feast has been going on here in Vegas? In Vegas.
In Vegas. Oh, I don't know.
You keep saying here in Vegas. Are we in Vegas?
Oh no.
She said
I didn't know they had this in Vegas too.
Yes, they do.
Did you drink? Are we in Vegas?
We're not in Vegas, though. Sorry. We're airing everywhere, so who knows? I could be out there in Vegas right now.
You never know. Somebody might call in from Vegas.
You never know. So it's actually the 41st annual feast.
Is it really?
Yeah, for this particular, it's like a traveling feast.
This the first time it's down here?
No, it's I believe it's a few times now that he's been down here, and the feast again is being held at the Gulfstream.
That was my next question. At
the Gulfstream Park. You go play the horses first and come over and go ahead and enjoy the festival. It's been a lot of entertainment.
Your guest is on hold.
Great entertainment. I got a call. Okay, who's calling in? Do I have a name?
Denise, can you hear me?
Oh, let's see.
This is Frank Tallarico, Denise.
Hi, Frank. How are you?
Hi, Denise.
Hi. So I know, Frank, you couldn't make it here. I'm so happy that you dialed in. So we're going to be, I don't know if you've been listening, but we've been talking about all things Italian. And clearly your last name brings us into the full circle of all things Italian. We were talking about the San Gennaro Feast. Oh, okay, we have...
That's great because, you know what, there's nothing to me more important than the Italian heritage. I was born in Italy, and I grew up with my parents, never spoke English. I grew up in an Italian household where we ate at home every single day, homemade Italian cooking, right from my mom's, and my grandmother's recipes. Tomatoes came from the garden, the cucumbers, everything was homegrown. And my dad made homemade wine. We have a long history of Italian heritage in my family.
Well, I know that we've known each other for a while now, and I'm super excited to have you because I know that you've been a great supporter here in South Florida. And for those of you that don't know, Frank is actually the Grand Marshal of the San Gennaro Feast. Is that right, Frank?
That is correct. You know what? They came and asked me to be the Grand Marshal, and to me that was an honor. And I was very glad to accept. And I'll be, very happy to be there on the opening night, March 17th. I've been in, the hospitality industry my whole life. Recently, I opened up Piazza Italia restaurant a few years ago on Las Olas. But I also own Ocean Manor Hotel Beach Resort, where I believe the #1 Italian restaurant, Casa Calabria, is situated right in our lobby. And we've been there
I know
for 5
Frank.
years.
Frank, I have Joe Rubo here. I don't know if you know. He says he knows you.
Of course I know Joe.
Frank, how are you, buddy?
Everybody knows everyone that's
We
Italian that's in this community.
No, we filmed a lot of stuff at the Ocean Manor Resort.
The Ocean Manor is right on the beach.
That's true.
A great place. I love the Tiki Bar, by the way. I think it's a great.
The Tiki Bar is probably the #1 Tiki Bar in South Florida, or maybe in all of Florida. We're located right on Fort Lauderdale Beach. You're steps from the sand, and we've been featured on Bar Rescue and other many Hotel Impossible. So we've become very popular now. But Tiki Bar is the only Tiki Bar on Fort Lauderdale Beach, the only one that is right on the beach.
Well, I've been there many times, and you host the best events there. I know we've had Super Bowl and other fight events, and you do a great job there. And thanks so much for, again, being a supporter. But I want to go back to the feast. Well, actually, Frank, where are you from Italy? What part?
Well, I was born in Calabria, which is southern Italy, and the town is called San Gennaro Feast, and that's a small town in the mountains of Calabria. And that's where it's world famous for this homemade sausage, what we call salsiccia, supersata, andouille. All the cured meat are famous from Calabria. That's what it's known for. And also it's authentic Italian food, such as homemade cheeses and pastas. People in Calabria really specialize in the food.
Well, I would have to say that I've eaten at the restaurant there, Casa Calabria, and also I've eaten at Piazza's, which is also another one of your restaurants on Las Olas. For those of you that are on the road, if you're getting hungry, you can always just pull over, go, and if you want to drive over to Las Olas, Piazza's is there. It's also a great nightlife, lounge bar, a lot of great events that's being held there. But I want to go back right now, Frank, to the actual feast. And what's going to be taking place on Thursday as the Grand Marshal? What's going on?
Well, Thursday is the opening night, and I think it kicks off at 4 p.m. There will be a procession that's going to start at 6 p.m. where there'll be a parade, and everyone will walk down the corridor where all the restaurants, I think there's 60 different restaurant vendors that are going to be there with booths, and obviously Casa Calabria will be one of them. And we'll be walking down the procession all the way to the main stage, and the mayor will be there, and also, some celebrities, some Italian actors, some Italian singers. We have a list of them. You can go over them later, where I will make a short speech and just, let everybody know, how honored I am to be the Grand Marshal and what I am, how I am a proud Italian, also a proud American as well. And then from there, the festivities begin. We have all kinds of carnival rides. We have all kinds of games, all kinds of events, all kinds of live music, all kinds of entertainment. And it should be a great night and should be a great weekend to have the San Gennaro Feast right here in our backyard in South Florida. Hello?
Of the actual
Hello?
San Gennaro Feast. Oh, Frank, I have a question. So out of all of the foods that are there, well, back up for a second. Have you been to the feast in New York, in Manhattan?
I have never been to the Feast of Manhattan. I've seen videos. I've seen pictures. That's something I always wanted to do. I wanted to put it on my bucket list, and I'm definitely going to go there one day. But now I get to experience the San Gennaro Feast for the first time in South Florida.
Well, you'll be getting some great weather. I mean, it's being held in New York on the 19th, I believe, that weekend in September. But I think we're going to get the essence of the whole effect right here in South Florida. I actually have a question for you, Frank. Out of all the foods that are there, well, first of all, are you going to be having a booth, a vendor there set up for your food?
Yes, Casa Calabria will be featuring its world-famous meatballs. These meatballs are a family recipe that go back 100 years and are, world-famous sauce. Our sauce is, bar none, one of my favorite sauces I've ever tasted, our Italian, spaghetti sauce, marinara sauce. And so we're going to be featuring our Italian hoagies, meatball hoagies, along with, penne and spaghetti with marinara sauce, tomato basil sauce.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question also that I have asked of Joe. Is it gravy or is it sauce? Which one is it?
Okay, for me, being born in Italy and being 100% Italian and speaking Italian, we call it sauce.
Okay.
For me, gravy you put over a turkey.
Over
I know different people have different reasoning, but I'm telling you, being born in Italy and living the Italian life from day one, I've never heard the word gravy until I came to Florida. That's an American thing that people have, over the years come up with. But the true word of sauce in Italian is salsa.
Salsa.
And la salsa.
Salsa.
And we don't say gravy in Italy. Sorry.
Well, I have to. We're going to go ahead and give you an American Italian lesson here. I just learned from Joe that yes, it's sauce or salsa, but it turns into gravy once you put the meat in it. Have you heard such a thing?
Maybe, some realms of the world, but the sauce, when we put meat in it, then it's a bolognese. The
Bolognese sauce, yeah.
Not a bolognese gravy. But I can see where Joe's coming from. Some people want to call it gravy. Fine. You can call it whatever you want, but, to me, it's always going to be sauce.
It's sauce, but it depends where you're brought up to in New York. Some places in New York, they call it gravy. Jersey, they call it sauce.
Yeah.
It depends where you're
correct.
Up. Yeah.
They can call it whatever they want.
We know what it is.
Go back to the roots in Italy. It's sauce.
Well, Frank, thanks so much for dialing in. We're looking forward to seeing you. We're very proud of you. And hopefully, I will see you Thursday and to help get the festivities started on March 17th at Gulfstream Park at the San Gennaro Feast. Once again, Frank, thanks so much for being such a great supporter in our town. And for those of you that are on, please support Frank as well. You can catch him over at the Ocean Manor, make a reservation. You can have a great meal at Casa Calabria, a lot of fun over at Piazza and La Solas, and you can do the Tiki Bar as well. But most importantly, we are all things Italian this particular show. And Frank, thanks so much for dialing in. I really, really appreciate that.
Take care, Frank.
It was my pleasure, Denise, and it was great, doing all kinds of events with you. We had Michael Irvin's event last night, his birthday party. Dennis Rodman showed up. That was Wednesday night, and we had a great night that night. And we're going to continue to do events, and you know what? We're always going to stick to our Italian roots and heritage, and I appreciate you being part of it, Denise.
Thank you so much, Frank. I know that you have a lot of great events, and there's always some celebrity roaming in through there and rolling around having a great time. So once again, I'm sure I'll see you very shortly. I know that you got to go getting things ready. Thanks so much once again.
All right. Have a great night.
Thanks. You too. We have another call, but before we do that, we certainly have to go ahead and again talk about our sponsor. So we have Gubba Rum. So apparently Mr. Gubba himself is going to be showing up, but I want to go ahead and let everyone know that he has been part of sponsoring this segment of the show, and we certainly want to go ahead and give him recognition for this rum that is known for being wicked smooth. Why don't we go to, yes, please. We're going to go right there and come right back.
Cool, calm, collected. Needing a drink to end a long day, or maybe to start your vacation right? Gubba Rum is here to let you kick back and do just that. Inspired by a technique that dates back to the 1800s, these artisanal, organic, and naturally infused rums are made from pure cane and the finest fruits, spices, and herbs the world has to offer. Gubba Silver is infused with naturally shredded coconut, and Gubba Gold is infused with real vanilla bean. Simply shake and enjoy. Visit gubbarum.com to find the nearest location to buy or enjoy. All establishments have personally reviewed and enjoyed firsthand the wicked smoothness of Gubba Rum. 35% ABV and 70 proof. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
Welcome back, everyone. Once again, this is the Power Up Radio Show, and we are doing all things Italian. This is the theme of our show, and as hopefully the traffic is settling down here on 95. We've been hoping to entertain you with what were all things Italian and the conversation of letting you know that we are talking about the San Gennaro Feast that's going to be happening on March 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. And we just had Frank on, who's the Grand Marshal of the actual event. And I know that there's a bunch of celebrities that are going to be performing and, of course, pulling out all the Italian music, which, Frank, I thought, Freddie, we're supposed to be playing some Italian music here. What's the matter with you?
What's wrong with you?
What's the matter with you?
I'm gonna play the Godfather.
You gonna play the game?
I'll play the
Oh,
Godfather.
real old Italian music.
Give me some Steve Martin. Give me some Steve Martin. I think I sent you some.
Steve Martin.
It's not
You
Steve
sent me
Martin. Oh
Steve-
my God!
You
What was
Steve
I
Martin?
thinking?
Whoa.
I'm not even
He's
drinking.
one wild and crazy guy.
One wild and crazy guy. I'm getting my icons confused.
Dean
here.
Martin.
Dean Martin. Okay,
Joe is
you
the
can throw some
accolade.
wet noodles at me for that one. That's fine.
That
You
was
can
a
go ahead
good
and do
one.
that. That was funny though.
Too much rum.
Dean
Cut
Martin.
down
Oh
on
my
rum.
God! Remember the
I think
Dean
it was
Martin
Steve
show?
Martin.
Anyone remember the Dean Martin show? Oh, it's a great show. The Dean.
Everybody.
There you go. Keep
Love
going.
That was my
Somebody.
dad's
Okay.
favorite song.
Favorite song.
Yeah.
That was the closing song to his show every time
Yeah.
that he was on, wasn't it?
Was that Dean Martin?
That was Dean
I don't know
Martin.
where that came from.
It was.
You knew.
I didn't. I thought you were gonna say that's not Dean Martin.
Well, of course, we have to, in all things to town, we have to talk about the Rat Pack. But before we do that, I have to bring on the line someone that I met just by coincidence, because he is on air and has his own radio segment that he does on a radio station called 590 AM. It's called The Fan. And why don't we bring him on the line here? Because he's a very interesting Italian himself. Are we going to go live, Freddie?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Are you there? Hello?
Hi, Denise.
Hi,
Denise.
how are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I had to have you dial in and participate with tonight's show because I did not know, but Joe himself is part of the family ownership of, I should say, the pasta company. Is that right?
Wow.
Yeah, it's the Pasta House Company restaurants. We've got about 26 locations in and around the St. Louis area, and my father started it back in 1974, and he still is out at the helm. He's 83 years old. He looks like he's 60, and looks like James Ferrantino still. So he's still still going. My mother still is 81. She's right there along with him, and yeah, it's just been a great run here in St. Louis. He was born and raised in an Italian section here in St. Louis called The Hill. It's a rather large Italian community in the southern part of the city of St. Louis, and yeah, he was born and raised there. And as a kid, as a young boy, he busboyed in the different restaurants in the neighborhood, and that was back when going out to dinner was only for the wealthy, and there were about, 3 or 4 restaurants back then, but it's grown since then. But, he would look around and see all the celebrities and, the well-heeled people that would come to eat. Frank Sinatra would come, Dean
wow.
Martin, when they were in town, they go to a place called Ruggeri's, which was a famous restaurant at the time. And I think that's when he got hit with the restaurant bug. I think he decided that when he grew up, he wanted to get into the restaurant business, because of course you see the owner walking around talking to all the tables, and it looks glamorous and all that kind of thing, and he'll tell you, boy, what a wake up call that was, because that's not all what the restaurant business is all about, as some of the restaurant guys that you have on probably know.
Well, I have to say the restaurant business, I know, is just tough in general. But when you run a restaurant business, Italians, I always see that it runs to be it's a family affair. It really is. I know that, Joe, yourself, that you have your own commentary show on food. Tell me a little bit about what it's all about, because I know you're posting food all the time. And how is it that we can actually follow you if some people want to see you and know more about the show that you're working on?
Absolutely. I'm the Facebook food critic. It's spelled with an S because Facebook won't let you use their name in any kind of title of a page or group, so I had to play with the spelling a little bit. It's FASEBOOK, food critic. And yeah, I go around, I go out to dinner a lot and check out different restaurants around town and post post photos of the different things they do, and then that led to a radio show with another good friend of mine named Frank Cusimano, and we
nice
started a
Irish
show
name.
called The Weekly Special, and we come on every Thursday morning, and we spotlight a local restaurant in town and bring the restaurateur in or chef in, and he gets to talk a little bit about his beginnings and how he got into the business and the different things they do and the different challenges they have and favorite dishes that people have when they come there. And it's really been well received because people love to talk about food and their favorite restaurants, right? So, and it's a little bit of a break. It's mostly a sports talk radio station, and so we started this. We probably started about 3-4 months ago, and it's just been really well received. The listeners just get a big kick out of it.
Well, I have to say that I've watched what you post, and one of the things that you have a great eye. I want to ask you, though, as an Italian and coming from such a large network, what is your favorite dish that your family makes for you or actually offers to the public?
Boy. I'd have to go back to my great-grandmother. She made the best stuffed artichokes. I mean, they were just out of this world. I know everybody's got different areas of the United States where people grew up, and there's different dishes that their parents and grandparents and great grandparents brought over from the old country. Some that are known in certain areas and some that aren't. And I think that was the one dish that I remember most from my great grandmother. Yeah, she was Sicilian and did these great stuffed artichokes. And the other thing, when she made her sauce, and it's sauce, it's not gravy.
It is sauce.
I heard
been
you
listening.
guys
Good.
Yeah, I'm listening. And she would throw everything in it. I mean, she put chicken legs in it, hard-boiled eggs, just about anything. There's a big park across from the highway. From where the Hill neighborhood is, called Forest Park. It's actually bigger than Central Park in New York. And, her kids, she'd send all her kids over there, my great uncles and aunts over there, and they'd pick dandelions, and they'd make dandelion salad out of it. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that.
I've actually had dandelion salad. I've actually had that. It's very good.
And I believe there's a dandelion soup that they would make too. But these were people that grew up during the Depression. They didn't have anything, and so they ate a lot of pasta. They had to do things like do the dandelion salads and soups and whatnot. And they had to get real creative over here and partner ideas up with what they brought from the old country with what they had to work with here in the States. So yeah, it's kind of interesting what they.
Oh, are you there? Did we lose connection? Yeah. Oh, okay. I have to ask you, so just so we know, what part are you from? Where are you calling in from?
My family's from from St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis. So we have St. Louis in the house. We have Italians in St. Louis. We have a lot of Italians in the Hill.
They do. A lot of Italians in the Midwest.
Oh, a lot of Italians. Yeah. In fact, they just did a documentary. It's airing on PBS right now, called The Hill, the last Italian neighborhood in America, or something like that. So you can look it up. Just look up The Hill. I think they're still broadcasting it. If you want to learn more about the neighborhood, it's still very strong. Still a very large Italian contingent, and it was actually where toasted ravioli was invented.
Oh wow! I love toasted raviolis. I got to ask you, have you ever had sugar on your raviolis?
No, I have not. I know some people like to put sugar in their sauce.
Sauce, yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
So
to sweeten it up a little bit.
That's something new.
I think they might have gotten a little carried away with it. I think originally it was to take away a little bit of that acidity from the tomatoes. They, to add a little bit of sugar, but somewhere somebody got along the line. I think they got a little heavy-handed with the sugar and came up with these sauces became sweeter and sweeter over the years. But I've not had sugar on my ravioli.
Well, I have to say, my mother-in-law, may she rest in peace, she was actually a fantastic cook, and I did not know anything about that. But yes, you can actually put sugar on raviolis. Now, She also did it on manicotti. So is it manicotti? Is it manicotti? What is it?
Manicotti. Yep.
Manicotti.
Manicotti.
Yeah. Cheese. Yeah, with the ricotta. Sure.
What kind of Italian is this?
We're debating on how things are said, Joe. I got the other Joe here that's listening. Is it manicotti? Is there mozzarella? Well, I just say pot cheese. It's all the same. We use pot cheese.
Depends where you're from.
It depends where you're from. There's such a diversity of different ways. I know, Southern Italy has their way of cooking, Central Italy, and Northern Italy, of course, because of the surrounding perimeters of the geography of the countries that are there. So there's a little bit of influence of everything.
Right.
I know that Sardinia is another place that I think that is really very interesting in how they have their food made together. But I want to thank Joe. Thanks so much for dialing in. We got to have you back on again to talk about the pasta company. Maybe you'll even come down here and make a visit, and we'll have to put you on set with us.
Absolutely, I'd love to do
pasta.
it. Let's put it together, make a plan. I'd love to come down and get some vitamin D. We just had a little bit of snow this morning, so I'm ready to break out of here.
Denise, I hear you're cooking all the pasta for the whole set.
I'm not cooking anything. I gave that up a long time ago. Yeah, no. 30 years was enough. That was enough. Joe, thanks so much for dialing in. We'll talk later. Have a good weekend.
All right, Denise. Thank you. Have a great weekend yourself.
Thank you. Take care now. So those of you that are just listening in and recapping, we've been talking today all things Italian. We've been talking about the San Gennaro Feast. If you want to know more about the San Gennaro Feast, you can actually go online, look it up at stgenarofeast.com. And the one that we've been mentioning all night is about in Hallandale over by Gulfstream. And it's going to be a really great, I think the weather's supposed to be really good. I mean, if you look at the 10-day forecast, this should be really good.
It's at Gulfstream Park?
It's at Gulfstream Park in the parking lot.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Plenty of room there.
Plenty of room. Lots of room. Yeah. Just, you can go to the races beforehand and you can go there afterwards, but let's keep all the horses intact. We don't want to have any separate parts show up. So we're going to go and talk a little bit more. One last thing. So anyone guess how many Italians are there in America, in the United States? Well, in this room right now, there's only one.
Not enough.
Not enough. That's a good answer.
Not enough.
Not enough Italians. Anyone else? Okay, so according to the 221 numbers, it's about approximately 2.3 million Americans live in the continent of America.
So what percentage would that be?
What's that?
What percentage would that be?
Not enough.
Not enough. We got to start making some more.
We make more Italians. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Once again, we want to thank Gubba Rum for being a sponsor on our show. We cannot not mention the fact that it is wicked smooth. You can cook with it. You can also do a lot more, and you can sip your way. We're going to have him back and visit us. I know that Mr. Gubba in the background just came in. Thank you so much for showing up. I love when you're on set here. With that, I'm so happy that you're able to spend this hour with us. Hopefully we've made it a little bit more entertaining while you're on the highway, listening in and having a lot of fun while we're doing that. Instagram, I hope that you see us once again and you can go live with us and tune in every Friday night between 7 and 8, and we are live. Next week's guests are going to be super. Thanks, Joe, for coming on and staying with us and giving us the Italian education that we needed.
Anytime. Love coming on.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great, great weekend, and see you at the feast next week, and happy St. Patty's Day. We want to make sure you remember that it is also St. Patty's Day. Have a good one.
You have been listening live to the one and only timeless Denise as she helps you bring in your weekend with a smile. If you wish to contact Denise and be on the show, call us at 866-224-5422 or email Denise at poweredupradiotv.show and tell us how your business shapes up the weekend. Again, call us at 866-224-5422 and make your mess our message. Now that you are powered up, go get your weekend.